Welcome to the Cocktail Spirit from Small Screen Network. I'm your host, Robert Hess. It's hard to think about the Kentucky Derby without also thinking about the mint julep. The mint julep wasn't always associated with the Kentucky Derby. It originated as a southern drink, something you would have drinking out on the veranda as you were contemplating the rather hot day. So focusing on something that's really cold and really refreshing is extremely important, and a properly made mint julep is going to have a lot of booze in it because it was intended to be drunk over a long time. Over the years, the mint julep has kind of slightly evolved to kind of form something that's almost a quintessential elegant style cocktail, to the point that it's even got its own cocktail cup, the mint julep cup, usually made out of silver. So the mint julep is made very simply with mint, simple syrup, and bourbon. Let's take a look. We're going to first add to the bottom of our glass a small handful of mint. This is probably about 4 or 5 mint sprigs, which I've pulled the individual mint leaves off of because it's the mint leaves that have the excellent flavor to it. The mint stem itself is a little bit more on the bitter side. We're now going to add a ½ ounce of simple syrup. You could use regular granulated sugar, and most recipes might call for granulated sugar. I prefer using simple syrup because it gets fully dissolved in the drink. Plus I think it helps kind of softly muddle the mint rather than giving a hard abrasive muddle to it. Now we're going to take our muddler. I'm actually using a food-safe plastic grade muddler. These are becoming very popular these days because the standard wood muddlers sometimes can pick up some odors and stuff like that unless you're keeping them clean very religiously. We're now going to just lightly muddle the mint in the bottom. What you're trying to do here is basically create a mint-infused simple syrup. Now the next step is to take and add the bourbon. I'm going to add 2½ ounces of bourbon. And now we have the step that everyone thinks about the mint julep from this standpoint. It's not just a drink with ice in it, it's a drink with finely crushed ice. And this is where the silver cup is going to come in very handy for us. Some people might have their own electric ice crushers and stuff like that, or those hand crank type of ice crushers. Myself, I actually prefer something that's a little bit more on the simplistic side. It's what's called a Lewis bag. It's simply just a canvas bag that we add our ice to. Should be plenty. Now we just whack this ice in order to crush it down. The canvas is going to wick away any of the melting, the water that's going to be formed by it, and therefore we end up with a nice dry ice. Now you could just kind of use your muddler for doing that with, but I've got something I like a little bit better. I like a nice mallet. This is a drink that's great when you're down in New Orleans visiting Chris McMillan at the Ritz Hotel. He does the same similar thing with a bigger bag and a big mallet that he just kind of wails on the sucker. Plus he has a nice little poem that he reads while he's doing it. So I'm not going to do that part for you. I'll save Chris McMillan to do that. Now I think we've got enough ice here. So now we add the ice to our glass, basically filling it most of the way up. Now an important step here is we take a small drink stir and we want to stir the drink up. I'm not sure if you can notice it quite there, but the outside of this silver glass is now frosting up. It's also taking and blending in the mint simple syrup well into the glass. And this is one of the reasons why you use a silver mint julep cup to make a mint julep with, to get that nice frosty exterior. Now that I've done that, let's top it off with more ice. Now we garnish it with a couple of mint sprigs. I'm going to first make sure I've got a little spot to put them in. Add our mint sprigs. And then we take And get some powdered sugar. And just lightly dust that on the top. And then serve with 2 sip straws right there by the mint, so as you're drinking it, you still get some of the aromas from the mint coming up. And there we have the traditional mint julep, served in the mint julep silver cup.